Pro-choice abortion, a woman's right by Tatiana Barbie. Abortion laws should remain the same because women have the right to decide what happens to their bodies. Reasons why. Rape victims, if incest is involved, harmful to health, and financial reasons. Well, you will always have naysayers when it comes to any type of controversy like this. Here are some opposing viewpoints. Abortion harms women more than they help. Well, the Gonzalez versus Cohart was a Supreme Court held in a 5-4 decision that the 2003 partial birth abortion ban passed by the U.S. was constitutional, meaning that this is a landmark decision. Religious reasons is another opposing viewpoint. People and their religious views. People will state that, because they are Christians, God does not love you and you will go to hell if you get an abortion. Also, you have killing and murder. People will believe that, getting an abortion is the same as killing or murdering a human being. And people will also say that they are not safe for your body or for you. Well, now that I've gave you some of the opposing viewpoints, here are the pro-choice reasons why all women should have the right to continue to get an abortion by law. And I have stated that it is a woman's right. It is a woman's bodily right. They are safe. And my main point that I want to talk about as well, on the reason why, is traumatic situations such as rape and incest. Let's talk about women's rights. So let's talk about the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment was created for equal rights, not only for men, but for women as well. This means that for women's rights, this gave women the right of privacy, which meant that it's protecting a woman to choose whether or not she should be able to have an abortion. Someone that was a huge activist for women was Margaret Sanger. A little bit about Margaret Sanger background was that she was a huge feminist activist. She was also the one that created birth control and founded Planned Parenthood. She believed that every person should be able to decide whether or not they want to have a child or not. She fought for women's rights because she believed that women should have the right to do whatever they feel as though they should be able to do with their body. Here's a quote that I have put in where she stated that no woman can call herself free who does not own and control her body. No woman can call herself free until she can choose consciously whether she will or will not be a mother. One thing that I want to say is that there's always been a controversy between women and men, and it's always been that, from the beginning, women couldn't vote, but men could vote. And Margaret Sanger, she spoke about that, that men have so much leeway and they are able to just do whatever they want, and that, women should have the same right. And that just goes back to the 14th Amendment. Here's an amendment that was made for equal rights for everyone. But then we have controversy whether or not, a woman should have an abortion and what she should do with her body. A woman's bodily rights. A woman should be free within her own body because it is her right to choose what she decides to do with her body. I want to talk a little bit about feminism because I have read a lot of articles, and one article in particular is called The Position of Womanism versus Feminism. And it basically just talks about feminist activists and what they believe and what is basically right, when it comes to a woman in her body. I have put some quotes below. One quote in particular that I really want to speak about is the inclusive where women rights to bodily integrity and anatomy, just such as the right for abortion. This is a woman's body. This is her anatomy. And just like men, she should be able to do whatever she wants with it. And that just goes back to how we talk about rights such as, property rights, voting rights. That was all made that men and women are both equal in those rights. So that also should be equal with what a woman wants to do with her body, because that is her body and that is her rights. Safety. All abortion procedures are safe and effective. Now, there is some naysayers that will say that, depression, anxiety, or stress, or just make up things as to why it's not safe. But here I have two scholarly journal quotations. One is, having an abortion doesn't affect future childhood bearing or pregnancy outcomes, nor does it affect the risk of breast cancer or secondary infertility. It as well does not affect the person in getting depression, anxiety, or post-traumatic stress disorder. The criminal statistics of the U.S. Department of Justice have estimated that, nearly 500,000 rapes and sexual assaults against women occur each year. This is fewer than 90,000 of these crimes that are reported to the police. Most people who are raped, or if they are involved in incest, do not report these traumatic things that happen to them to the police. Incest is a part of rape, or it cannot be a part of rape at the same time, because I know some people, have, decided to, do something with a family member. But sometimes incest is involved in, a family member, like a dad, raping their daughter. And women should be able to choose whether or not they want to keep that baby. A lot of times they don't want to keep that baby and they want to have an abortion because it's very traumatic to them and it's very emotional to them. And that just goes back to, people are saying, safety, reasons of abortions, which will cause a woman, to go through depression and all these other things. But rape and incest is something that a woman goes through that can actually cause these things if they are not allowed to have an abortion.